Hi, boys and girls. This is for anyone in Mrs. Wing's class who was not able to join us this morning to do the journal pages. These are the journal pages right here, and the actual journal pages that you are working with are these pages that were sent home in the baggie. And we are going to be reviewing our letter of the week, our number of the week, our shape, and our color of the week as we do our journal pages today. And we'll also be looking at the parts of a flower, okay? So we have lots to do. Let's start by looking at our letter of the week. What letter is this? Is that a G? It is, and this is a capital G, isn't it? So we're going to be working with that. And then, what letter is this? It's our lowercase g, isn't it? And G says g, 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 g for garden. Can you say that with me? G says g, 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 g for garden. All right, before we start working with our G, we're going to take a crayon, and it doesn't matter what color, just pick a crayon. And on this first sheet only, not on this sheet, this comes later, but on this first sheet only, we are going to make 4 windows. So we're going to go across the top here and go to about the middle and draw a line down as best we can, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of hard to make it perfect. So we get our line down this part, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look down this long line and go, oh, that's about the middle. And we're going to draw a line over like this. Okay, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes or windows. All right, in this first box, we are going to write our capital G. And in this second box, we're going to write the lowercase g. But let me just pause and make sure everybody's had a chance to make a line here and a line here. Can you do that now? All right. Now, before we write a capital G in here, let me show you how to do it. All right, so we'll start at the top. We'll make a curve, and then we keep on coming up about halfway, and then stop and make a straight line. All right, can we do that in the air? So we start at the top and make a curve and come up, and then a straight line. Let's do that again. Make a curve, come up, make a straight line. Do it again. Start at the top, make a curve, come up, and make a straight line. That's how you make a G. All right, so you can take any color crayon you want and make your capital G. So you start at the top, make a curve, come up, then stop, and make a straight line. And that's a capital G. Do you think you can do that? Let me move this closer so you can see it better. Here. Okay, so start at the top. It's hard for Mrs. Becker to trace exactly. We're going to make a curve, keep coming up, and then make a straight line. That's our G. All right, and remember, we're learning, so we may not do this perfect, and we don't have to. We just have to try to make a G, okay? Try to make a capital G. All right, good job. Then we want to do the lowercase g here. And to do a lowercase g, we have to make a circle first. So we make a circle, and then we come down with a line, and then the bottom curve up. Circle, line, curve up. Circle, line, and curve up. Can we do that in the air? Let's try it. So circle, and Mrs. Becker wants to go a different way, just a second. Circle, line, and curve up. Circle, line, curve up. Circle, line, and curve up. Okay. All right, let's try that. And again, you can pick any crayon you want. I'm going to keep the same color. So I'm going to make a circle. And then I'm going to come down. Notice I did not take my crayon off the paper and then come up. So everybody make a circle first. Keep your circle going now. Don't take your crayon off. Come down and then make a curve up. And the curve should be on the same side as the circle. Okay? You think you can give that a try? All right. And then I wanted to show you something. We didn't do it today, and that's okay. But this is how G works. When we start really writing, we'll be writing on lined paper more than likely. And to make a capital G, we do our curve, come up, make our line, and the G sits on that line. Lowercase g's go below the line. We make our circle, we make our line, and we curve. And notice how the line and the curve are below the line. That's just a tricky thing that you'll work with more as you go on in school. All right, now we are going to do our number of the week here. And what is our number of the week? Do you remember what this is called? This is getting tricky. This is called 30. 30. Okay, the 3 in the front means 30. And the 0 means it's just a plain number 30 because we can have 31, 32, but this is just plain old 30. All right, to make a 3. And by the way, we are going to put 30 in this square here. To make a 3, we start at the top and we go like this. We make a curve and then make a curve. And we have a little rhyme that goes, to make a 3, you go around and around like a bee. Bzz, that's a way to make a 3. So around and around like a bee. Bzz, that's the way to make a 3. I'll do it one more time. Around and around like a bee. That's the way to make a 3. All right, so you can just take any crayon you want, and we have to get a 3 and a 0 in here. So we have to get 2 numbers in here. So make the 3 around and around like a bee. That's the way to make a 3. I'll do it again. Around and around like a bee. Bzz, that's the way to make a 3. And again, we just do the best we can. We do the best we can. Then for the 0, you start at the top and around you go. That's the way to make a 0. You start at the top and around you go. That's the way to make a 0. You know what? I'll do that on the whiteboard too. Start at the top and around you go. That's the way to make a 0. Start at the top and around you go. That's the way to make a 0. Okay? So you put the 3 and the 0 together and you have 30. Okay? All right. Then in this window or square, we are going to put our shape and color of the week. So first of all, let me show you this. What shape is this red thing here? I know that's a square, and guess what? This whole thing is a square. And then what shape is this? I know, it's a square. How many sides does a square have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all the same size. That's pretty cool. Now, the other thing we have to know is our color of the week. 1, 2, 3, what's our color? Green. So for this one, you have to have a green crayon. Can you find a green crayon? And then you're going to make a green square in this window here. So I'm going to start at the top, go across. I'm going to try to make them about the same size. And there's my square. And you can do the best you can there. And then, if you want, you can color it in. And I'm going to be very fast. And there you go. Okay? So you make your green square. And it doesn't have to be as big as mine. So we have our G, capital G, lowercase g. G says get for garden. We have our number 30. Can you say 30? Good. And it's a 3 and a 0. And then we have our green square, which reminds us of our shape, which is square, and our color green, which we're working with this week. Very good. All right, so I'm just trying to make sure everybody had a chance to finish. And then we're going to do this paper next, okay? And for this paper, we are going to draw the parts of the flower. And we're going to do that together, okay? And remember, you should have a second sheet of paper that looks like this. Yours won't be as big as Mrs. Becker's, okay? All right, now on this page, you'll need a brown crayon first. Can you find a brown crayon? And we're just going to make a line for where our ground is, for where our J is, okay? So I'm going to start here and just go across. And again, it doesn't have to be a perfect line, okay? So this is our ground down here. And then how do flowers start? Do you have to have a seed? Well, you do. So then I'm going to take a black crayon and I'm going to make a little seed. Okay, and I'll color it in. All right, can you do that too? Let me remember to give you a second or two to do that, okay? So remember, we have our ground. This is our ground. This is the top. And there's our seed. And you know what? What do seeds need to grow? Do they need water? And do they need sun? You bet. And when the seed gets some water and gets some sun, it actually has roots that grow out of it. And we're going to just make lines like this out of our seed. And we're only going to put one seed here. If later on you want to draw more seeds on this page, go ahead. But right now, all we need is one seed, and now the seed has some roots. Okay. All right, so this is in black. And then if you want, you can take your brown crayon and kind of color in the dirt and see this way we can still see our brown moving. Now, Mrs. Becker is not doing this perfectly. You get the idea of where my ground is. All right, you can do the same kind of thing. And later on, if you want to color it in really, really, really well, you can come back and do that, okay? But right now, let's just do it this way. Okay, so now our seed has roots, it's in the ground, and now there's something that's going to come out of here. It's called a sprout. And for this, can you find a green crayon? Can you find a green crayon? We're going to have our sprout come out of the seed, and now it goes above the ground. Oh my goodness, there's our sprout, and I can make it thicker too if I want. Yay, it started to grow because it got more sun and more water. All right, and you know what? It's going to grow some more. You can make it grow up a little bit more if you want. Make it really thick. There we go. So this is called the stem. This is the stem of our flower. So we have the seed, the roots, and the stem. And then pretty soon, with more water and with more sun, our stem starts to have some leaves. Can you draw some leaves on your stem? There's 2 leaves, Mr. Becker, and if you want to draw more, you can. You can draw more if you really want. I guess I'll have 3 on mine, okay? All right, so we had the seed, the roots, the stem, and the leaves. And then pretty soon, after there's more water and more sun, guess what grows at the top? A flower. And I'm not going to make a perfect flower. Mine's going to kind of look like this, okay? And I chose a red. You can choose whatever color you want. And I am going to put a little bit of a yellow middle in my flower and color that in. And then I'll finish kind of coloring in the red. Not perfect though. You can do yours better than Mrs. Becker will be able to do hers. And there we go. I have a red flower. What color flower do you have? And those are the big parts of the flower. So we start with a seed, and then we have the roots, the stem, the leaves, and then the actual flower in bloom there. And of course, the flower has petals, which we didn't draw in specifically here. And then there are seeds that usually are on this part of the flower. We could draw seeds in there if you wanted to. You could take your black and just draw your dots. And that's all the seeds. Okay. And those seeds can drop to the ground and the seeds start to grow again. And that's kind of the life cycle of a flower, isn't it? So what do we call this? That's the seed. What do we call these little lines coming from the seed? The roots. Good. What do we call this part of the flower? That's the stem. What about these? Leaves. And what do we call this? That's the flower with its petals. All right. And those are our journal pages. And what you need to do is you need to save these pages. And next week, when you go back to school on Wednesday, you can take these pages, or if you go back to school on Friday of next week, not this week, you can take these pages and Mrs. Boyens and Mrs. Wing will be looking for those, okay? All right, thanks for helping me. Bye-bye.